Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another segment of Soul Talk. My name is Emeka, the psychologist, or you can just simply call me the Dark Prophet. So today, our title today for this episode is Stop Obeying, Start Disobeying. So that's the title, Stop Obeying, Start Disobeying. You see, in our society, there's a high premium on obedience. And what I mean by that is, by obeying, you make your life easier. Take for example, let's say for example, I'm waiting for a bus, let's say in Oshodi or something, and maybe it's raining, and then the bus comes, and then they tell me that the fare is, let's say the fare is 200, and then the conductor says, no, the fare is not 200, it's going to be 300, and there's a lot of people waiting there, So under that situation, I will ask myself, do I want to pay 200 or do I want to stay and wait for a bus that will cost 200, which is the right price, or do I just pay 300 and get out of this rain that is soaking my shoes, my clothes and everything? Now, somebody who cherishes obedience, somebody who wants to go his way in life, someone who wants things to be easy for him, he tends to go with obedience. It's more like, what I would say is, that person say, it's just 300, just 100 naira. Let me just pay it, Joe. Let me just get out of here. So he pays the money, he goes into the bus, he moves on, goes to the other end where he's rushing to. Then some other people may say, no, I'm not going to pay that money. I'm going to wait here. That it can be like, that person can think from the way of, oh, this person is exploiting me. I'm not going to pay that money. I'm going to wait till I see a bus that will say 200 and I will enter that one. So that bus goes. Then you wait, let's say you wait like 30 minutes. Nigerian buses is unpredictable. You wait like 30 minutes more. And then you find out that on the 30 minutes more you're waiting, you just find out that, man, my shoes are not really soaked. My shirt is really soaked. Like I'm even sweating in my armpits and stuff. So in that situation, your life is going to be harder in that situation because you could have just gone with the easy way and say, let me just obey and just enter the bus and go. But you chose the other way, so you get punished for that. So, you see, in our society, obedience, like I said, obedience is what everybody preaches. Just obey. Don't disobey. Just makes your life easier. Even if you go to the doctrine of the church, of Catholic Church, Redeemed, Islam, all religion preaches obedience. All religions that I'm aware of, they preach obedience. And I've not seen any religion that says, oh, we're going to preach disobedience for this religion is about disobedience. There's a high price on obedience. Obedience just gets things going. But the problem now comes in, what of the situation whereby you are asked to do something that is against your will? Something that you don't want to do, something that's against your conscience. Do you do it because it will make your life easier? Or do you say, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to make my life harder by saying no to this order? A good example is Ali during the Vietnamese War. At that period in time, they were inducting people to the army. When your name comes out, you go into the army, you go and fight for America against Vietnam and hope that America wins and kills Vietnam and take over whatever America is about. Is always taking over their resources and trying to dominate those people. So Muhammad Ali was at the height of his powers at this time. He was the heavyweight champion. So him being inducted to the army was good because when he's fighting for the army, other people, so we raise the morale of the troops when a war champion is fighting for them. You understand? When the war champion leaves the ring to come and fight for them. But when they called Muhammad Ali to participate, he said no, that he's not going to participate in the war. And they pressured him. They said, why? He said that I'm not going to join America to go and kill Vietnamese people who have done absolutely nothing to me. That was his response. They have done nothing to me. They've not called me a nigger. Why am I going to go and kill them? When at home, when in America, I am being treated unfairly because I'm black. So his attitude then, so people felt, okay, he's not patriotic. And that's disobedience now, you understand? He could have just obeyed and everything would go fine. He would go to the war, he would probably not fight, he would just sit in one corner and telling people, fight, kill, kill, kill. He said no. And because he said no, he had to pay the price. And was he was stripped of his title, heavyweight, how they call it, but heavyweight boxer of the world. He was stripped of the title. He was fined $10,000 and he was sent to prison for 5 years for refusing to participate in America's war. That's what he received. And in this process, he was not allowed to box, and his passport was seized. So this thing, what's important here is he disobeyed because he felt it was against his conviction. And what they did first, the first thing they attacked was his means of livelihood, which was boxing. They banned him from boxing all over America. So they put the pressure on him. But at the end of the day, Muhammad Ali did not go to the war, and as the war progressed, it now turned out that the war was a bad idea because lots of women and children were massacred for absolutely no reason. They were innocent, they were unarmed, but they were just shot and killed. So in that war, there was a man named Hugh Thompson Jr., who was a warrant officer. So they captured a city called they captured a city called Mylene. And in this process, they captured the city. There were over 342, let's say 300 or 420 something people there. Innocent, they were civilians that were unarmed. But their general gave them an order that when they go into that city, they should kill everything crawling, moving, or growing. So they should kill it. That's the order. So now they cornered these 400 people, women and children. They cornered them and some men, old men. They cornered them and they were going to execute them. But General Thompson, Hugh Thompson, defied the order and he rescued some of the women away. And when his superiors pressured him to kill the people, to kill those innocent and harmless civilians, these Vietnamese people, he said no. And the more they pressured him, he pointed his gun at his superior. And so, directly disobeying that order, if he had obeyed and killed all these people, things would have gone okay for him. He obeyed the order, there is no problem. But when he turned the gun against his superior, some of the people were vacated. He rescued some of the people, but some people were not able to be rescued because they were shot. So at the end of the day, more than 300 or 400 people were killed. But before they were killed, the women were raped and the children were all shot dead. And then when the news came out, it was bad for American forces because it was a blatant murder on a foreign land. Even though what Thompson did was the right thing, he was first criticized as seen as a traitor and called all sorts of names that he did not respect his superior. It was only later, towards the ending of his life, that they actually recognized him as a hero and gave him a great award, the Bravery Award. And so that's when he got the award, recognized for something he did a long time ago. You see, the problem with obedience is that we live in a society where obedience is what everybody preach. Obey, obey, obey. Nobody tells you, see, before you obey, ask yourself, is this thing the right thing to do? Because you are not a dog, you are not a chicken, you are not something that does not think. You're a human being. You're supposed to ask yourself, this thing that they are telling me to do, is it the right thing? Or am I just doing it just to obey, or I will just obey anybody just because they said I should do it? Because when you are the kind of person that obeys, without even for once, even challenging an order when you know it's not right, without challenging it, then what you become a breeze in the wind. You just fly from one corner to the next corner. And that is not how a human being should be. You see, a lot of atrocities in this world that were committed, a lot of atrocities committed, only was able to be carried out because the person they gave the order could not say no. A good example, like I'm telling you this story so you understand that even though disobedience is seen as a negative thing, you should also understand that certain times when disobedience is the best option, because that thing never comes out in preachings, it never comes out in teachings. You see, a good example is the Holocaust, when Hitler and his army ordered mass extermination of the Jews. You see, millions of Jews were killed simply because they were perceived as inferior, so they were killed. They were seen as a threat to Germany, so they killed them. And so, at the end of the war, Hitler committed suicide, like every coward, he committed suicide. But a man called Eichmann, which was the person that he gave orders to kill Jews and transport them, was now put on stage, was now put to be tried by the World Court over what he did. He was to be tried in Israel over what he did. And everybody wanted to know, why did he do this thing? Why did he do something like this? How can he do something like that? That was the question that was going in everybody's mind. How can he do something like this? This person must be the devil. This person must be the that. So when they asked him, why did he transport millions of Jews to be killed? His response was, Hitler said I should do it. It was not something, people would expected a good reason that maybe he hated Jews. To him, he didn't really have anything against the Jews. It's just, Hitler said they should kill them. So we just transported them and they got killed. Simple as that. So it was as simple as that. Millions of Jews were massacred because a man that was given an order could not say no. And for his defense, people were saying, well, if he had said no, he would have been killed. So him saying yes was his best option because he did not want to be killed for people, for the Jews. He wanted to live, so he killed them. And so because of that, millions of lives were wasted. Because of that. You see, this disobedience is something that we should have somewhere in our mind, that we don't always have to obey every single thing we are being taught, every single thing that, every order we are being given, every single thing. You have to evaluate it for yourself. It's something that seems simple, but it's something that has catastrophic consequences if we fail to do it sometimes. So on this end, I will stop for this section. So I'm going to continue the part 2, but this is where I'm going to stop for this one. So have a good day. So please share this, like it. But I'm going to continue on the second part. So thank you very much.